What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to do a little bit of a different format. As you can see, I'm speaking first. We're not doing one individual technique. Today the goal is to work on submissions, a bunch of different submissions. The caption or the name of the video obviously gives it away, but we're going to work on a bunch of submissions that I think white belts should know. Now, in particular, I think the main goal of white belts should be escaping bad positions and trying to learn how to maintain dominant positions. That should be the main focus. But as a snowball rolls downhill and gathers debris and gets bigger and bigger, you're going to learn submissions along the way. So as far as the importance of submissions and which ones are important, I think that these few here that we're going to work on today are really where your mind should be. And remember, we're not going to go into great detail because then this video would be an hour long. I have videos on the intricacies of almost all the motions we're going to go through today that I'll link in the description, so you can go into those videos and get a little more in-depth and dive a little deeper into the intricacies. But for now, we're just going to work on the main core of the submissions that we should know as a white belt, especially if you're working towards getting that blue belt. So follow along. Let's get after it. Okay, we're gonna start with rear chokes, and we're gonna flip-flop back and forth between the gi and no gi, just so you guys get a little better picture of everything, right? So we're gonna start with the back control and go into our rear choke because that is the highest percentage, most common submission in all of grappling, fight sports, everything. Rear choke and bow and arrow choke. So we have to know those, we have to be proficient with them. So let's start. We're gonna start by going boom, to the overhook side. This used to be called the power side. It's just overhook and underhook sides now, and you'll see why. When we get to this position, as I'm in position, she's gonna get defensive hands in place, probably grabbing mostly this dangerous arm with both of her hands. What I like to do here is I like to adjust my feet first. I either get a long hook or I go into what I call hip clamp or high ball ride, and I play here. Now what I like to do first is I'm going to roll my secondary hand and grab onto her same side hand, so left to left. Then I roll my primary hand on top, and now as you can see, I'm dominating the hand fight now. Now I'm going to spider walk up, controlling the shoulder, pull this hand out, and now there's going to be a hand fight. She's probably going to try to pull this hand down, so I'm going to be hand fighting here, locking my figure four, hand behind the head, and there's my strangle, right? That's our rear choke from the overhook side, okay? All right, now let's talk about the rear choke from the underhook side. Most important aspect initially is my head needs to stay between their head and the mat like a pillow. If her head goes to the mat underneath mine from the underhook side, she's already started the process of escaping. I need to change the position. So I'm gonna be tight to her like a little backpack, making sure that I'm staying between her head and the mat. And again, I'll adjust my feet here. I like to go into a long hook and start controlling, stopping her from being able to turn her back to the mat as much as I can. She's gonna have defensive hands in place again. She's gonna be defending most likely this scary strangle arm here, right? So we're in this position. Now on the overhook side, we roll secondary hand, then primary hand. From the underhook side, we're gonna roll the primary hand first and then reach with the secondary hand. And now we have that straitjacket system, okay? So again, we're here. We're going to roll primary, reach with secondary, and look to start straightening. Now I can go over the top, trapping, locking, passing off here, pinning to her body, and now I have a free arm to work underneath the chin, holding the shoulder, locking my wrist with my chin, and pulling the elbow back for a really strong finish. That's how we're going to do our underhook side. All right, to hop into the gi, oh, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, to hop into the gi real quick, so we can also look at our strangles from the back with the gi, right? Again, we have the overhook side and underhook side, so let's get specific about those two positions. When we go for the choke from the overhook side, trust me, you're gonna have to change the position, right? And you'll see why in a second. So let's say we're here, overhook side. We go down, boom, we get here. I roll, open the collar, get in here. Now look, my elbow's on the mat. I can't pull into her neck to finish, right? So then what people do is they separate here. Now she just pulls her head down to the mat and I lose it, yeah? So we don't want that, okay? So what I'm gonna do, same position, I'm gonna roll, open the collar, get my grip, and now I'm gonna change the position. I'm gonna go to technical mount. So what I'll do is one of two things. I'll either just take my bottom hook out, hoping that they know that they want to escape out that way, yes. Or when I take, and if they do escape, I'll start the position. But if I take the bottom hook out and they know, they're wise to it, they're like, I'm not taking that bait. I'll take the top hook out and I'll kick them off of me, like boom, here, right? And now I'll come up. As I come up, I'll step back over, work up to my knee, taking my knee behind their head, work up to my knee just like this, touching knee and elbow together. Now she tries to pull her head back. It runs right into my arm, shoulder, chest. Now I can grab her leg and I'm just gonna lean towards her feet. Right there, get that really strong finish. If I'm here and they push back into me, here I sit back, throw my leg over, and we finish. Right there. Super powerful, right? That's how you're gonna do the overhook side in the gi. You gotta change the position. You gotta go from the back to technical mount. From technical mount, we can finish right there from top or fall back and play a normal bow choke. Now attacking from the underhook side. It's gonna be very similar to the no gi variation. We play here. Again, head positions everything. Keep my head between her head and the mat. I'm gonna pivot my legs to get topside control. And again, I'm gonna roll primary, reach with secondary, trapping, boom, boom, feed, control. Reach through, grab that collar. Now when I get here, the deeper the better, future reference. When I get here, what I like to do is I push them down a little bit and I throw my leg over the shoulder. Now to finish, I'm not gonna pull like this. I'm gonna press this knee to the mat. So check it out, I go here, look. I'm just opening this knee to the mat. And that's choking them to death, right? Okay, so now let's look at another submission option. We're gonna talk about the armbar, okay? When I go into armbar positions from closed guard, we're also gonna look at mount in a second. When I go into my armbar, I need to start getting them broken down, bringing them a little closer to me. So I like to play sharp. My hips are always off the mat, by the way, guys. I'm not like this, lazy. My hips are engaged. It actually makes it a lot harder for them to stand, a lot harder for them to get their offense going, and I can jackknife my body to really pull them and harass their position. So I'm gonna go into shark fin hands, wax on, wax off, knee pull, boom. I'm gonna hold the head and underhook the arm and put her elbow right on my chest here. I'm not trying to bring it across my body because they're gonna notice that, okay? It's very subtle. And now I'm gonna look to hop my hips up and trap their shoulder in this top lock. Now I'm free to scoop the leg. She's probably gonna start defending her arms here. And it's okay if they don't, but they probably will. So most likely what I see is a figure four style defense. So I wanna get all the way elbow deep, scoop the leg here, pummel my leg over the head, and now I can start to look for finishes. For a lot of times what I'll do is I'll reach to this wrist, pull it out of position, holding it here, and now I can easily go into finishing this arm right here. That's your arm bar from closed guard, my most successful one. Ooh, all right. So another arm bar. We're gonna talk about the arm bar from mount. Again, if you're trying to get better at this game, you need to have the same attacks from different positions. Effectively, mount is an inverted guard. So I should be able to do the exact same arm bar sequence. What I'm gonna look to do here, my favorite way to go about it is I go into wrist pins, usually from a 2-on-1 style scenario or a double inside cross wrist ride. A lot of mouthful. But I'm gonna go here, 2-on-1, pinning the wrist, and as she turns to defend her arm here, that's gonna give me the opportunity to slide myself up into a technical mount or an S mount, right? So I start bringing my body up, bringing my knee high above the head. This is important, that my knee's very high. I'm still pinning. Now I can start to look to control this and bring my leg up, all the way up here to S mount. This is very important. If my leg was down here and she bridges, it moves my whole body. I bring my leg all the way up here, she bridges, doesn't affect me at all. I'm in a good position, I have good control. Even if her hands are connected, even if they're like really protecting their arm here, I'm still gonna go for the arm bar. I'm not gonna try to fight this here usually. Sometimes I'll pummel through and get their arm here and go, but really I just wanna get into my arm bar sequence. So I'm gonna look to lean all my weight onto them, making a weightless left leg. They should feel this. There should be a lot of pressure on them, right? Never take the brutality out of jiu-jitsu. How you feeling down there? Yep. Okay, throw the leg over the head before you sit. Never sit first. Throw the leg over the head, pinching your knees. Now you can sit back. From here, there's tons of ways to separate the arms, right? I can pommel through, pulling the arm apart. I can punch, boom, pulling the arms apart. If she's hand to hand, I can use this leg here, splitting. I can do a number of things to finish, okay? But once I separate, I'm gonna be pulling this arm straight, looking to finish. What I like to do, make a strong arm. Strong, don't let me straighten your arm. It's kind of hard, right? Do it again. Strong arm, look side to side. Very easy, right? So I get real aggressive there, going side to side like a dog shaking something, side to side. And now I lean towards the feet. Right arm goes into my right hip, right hand into my right armpit, and we finish that arm bar for our mounted arm bar option. All right, now let's work our triangle from closed guard. My favorite way to enter the triangle from closed guard is the clamp guard scenario, okay, from an overhook. But I have a video that I'll put in the description where you can really get in depth on that. I'm gonna show a more simple entry and then the triangle attack itself. So we're playing here. I'm gonna look to control both wrists. And my hips, again, are off the mat. My hips are not touching the mat. And I'm gonna be moving them, making them uncomfortable, moving their hands, look, not giving them good comfort here. And then before she knows it, I'm gonna go boom, like that. Punch one hand to her chest and pull her hand to my chest. So we're moving, I'm gonna go boom. Open and hop my hips up, wee. And every now and then, you knee them right in the face. That's just a plus, it's an addition. It's like icing on the cake.
It's a bonus.
Bonus. So we're here, moving them. I go, boom. Legs open, watch my hips. They hop up, boom. Yeah, now I'm in a good position to go into my attack. From here, a lot of times I'll threaten the arm, not with the goal of finishing it. You're probably not gonna finish that. What that generally gets them to do is take this hand out and lock their hands together and come forward to bend their elbow. So now I can pull her head down, make my ankle, and lock in my triangle. And there's my finish.
Ugh.
Make sure on your triangles you're creating extreme perpendicular angle. Again, I have videos that I'll put in the description where you can see a little more in-depth on that triangle. But that's a good entry and a really important motion for you to know as you continue your jiu-jitsu journey. Okay, now another one. We're gonna work on the legs. This is single leg X, right? My foot's in the middle here. I'm always hooking the same side hamstring. I don't wanna hook the far hamstring here or the cross hamstring. Lots of reasons why. Again, I have plenty of videos that I can put in the description to talk more in depth about this entanglement in particular. But how we get here, maybe she swept me. Maybe she knocked me down. Maybe she was taking me down and I jumped on the leg. Maybe there's a number of circumstances for how I get here. But I find that getting to single leg X is a really good position to sweep, to control position, to pass, to get into foot locks, to start heel hooks, and to transition between leg entanglements. Very, very good position to understand and learn. You have to add it into your game if you want to progress. Future reference. A blue belt with a really deep understanding of leg entanglements can give a traditional jiu-jitsu black belt fits for days. It's the great equalizer. So we have to understand this scenario, okay? So we're playing here. I just got the single leg X. Not sure how it happened, but I got here. Open the knee, collect the ankle, okay? What I'm gonna make sure of is there's no gap here. How I do that? I pull my elbow back, and now I reach for second base. Look at that. I'm gonna connect my hands. I'm gonna put my shoulder point on the mat, lifting my hips. You'll notice I don't have to pull on her leg at all. Watch, here, look. There's the tap. You didn't see me pulling. I didn't have to, look. That's it, yeah? If you lock this in position properly, you will not have to pull with all of your might. Again, I open the knee, collect the ankle, pull my elbow back, take all that space out, connect my hands, look, up onto my shoulder point. There's my finish. Super powerful foot lock. Again, I'll throw some more videos down in the description that goes into more detail about this, but you need to add this into your game. Let's go. Okay, next position is gonna be arm in guillotine. I think the guillotine is the most innate, most basic submission that people should just inherently, by being human, understand. Someone reaches for you, comes at you, wrap their neck up from the front and squeeze on their neck. That's the simple way, right? But if you want to get technical about it, there's extreme intricacies in this motion. And again, I'll throw some videos in the description talking about more details on how to finish the guillotine. But let's talk about the guillotine simply. So let's say we get here, she's just starting to take me down. Boom, she's getting in here, right? What I'm looking to do is I'm gonna wrap up her neck. I'm gonna wrap my arm around her arm. I'm gonna start connecting my hands underneath her chin. I'm gonna make sure that I fall to the choking arm side here, right? I don't care what your hand connection is. Get your wrists high in the neck, pinch her body with your feet, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna crunch to the side of the choke. We're not gonna pull away and out of the choke. Arm in guillotines, I'm not pulling away. That's not gonna finish. Watch this, I'm gonna crunch, 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 crunch. And that's how we're gonna get those arm in guillotine finishes that are really, really powerful. Again, super innate motion. We all understand grabbing the neck and squeezing on it is a problem for our opponent, right? So again, she's coming in for the takedown. I wrap up her head, play here. Look, now my wrists are high in the neck. I crunch, 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 crunch. Boom, there's our submission. Another really important one you should add in, especially if you're starting your jiu-jitsu journey and you don't have the wrestling pedigree. You come in, you start from the feet. If your gym does start from the feet, which they should be, if you're starting from the feet and someone shoots in to take you down, maybe you didn't get to your sprawl in time. Maybe you're already losing that battle. Get right on their neck, finish the fight. Let's get good at those guillotines, all right? Cross choke. We're gonna go cross choke from guard and cross choke from mount so you guys can get a little picture of both, all right? What we're gonna be playing here is I wanna get a cross collar grip, right? So left to left or right to right. I usually start with my left side. So what I'm gonna do here, guys, is again, I'm gonna be moving her, breaking her down, playing. I'm gonna reach deep, look, with both hands, playing here. Now, what I like to do is I like to harass their position, okay? There's a couple ways to go about this. I might reach underneath, make her think I'm messing with this arm. I might knock this arm out of position, and I'm just moving them, getting my elbows inside, okay? Now I'm gonna get two grips, like a baseball bat grip on this collar, okay? So I'm getting these two grips here, and I'm gonna be playing really strong. Now I'm gonna do like I'm swinging an axe, okay? Because I wanna get access to this side, right? It's hard for me from here to get access to that side. So I'm gonna bring my hips up and swing, boom, like I'm swinging an axe, and look where we end up. Grabbing over the top, pulling her to me here, throttling those wrists, and there's my super, super strong cross choke. Remember, we need access to this side, so when I get this grip here, my hips come up and I slam that axe down. Boom, easy work. Elbows together, pull them to you. Because they're out at this angle, it's hard for her to push away from me, right? Because she's at an angle, push away. Look, easy win, come straight, push away. Ah, I can't pull her to me, right? So since we're at that angle, it's rather easy now for me to pull her in, throttle my wrists. There's my cross choke. All right, so the last one, the coup de grace. We're playing here, okay? We're gonna go into our cross choke again. What I like to do a lot of times from mount is I kind of sit back a little bit even, like almost weighing back. She bridges, and I can kind of ride this out, like, oh, not a big deal. If I'm forward and she bridges, it makes my hips light, and now she can push my hips and get into some escape processes. So sometimes I'll play back here, right? Now she doesn't want me to grab her collar by her neck. Don't let me grab your collar by your neck. Don't let me grab it. It's hard, yeah? Now don't let me grab your collar by your neck, okay? Don't let me grab it. Don't let me get it. Don't let me get it. Don't let me get it. You see that, okay? So what I'm doing, guys, is I'm starting very low. So we're fighting here. This isn't gonna concern her. This isn't gonna concern her. Grabbing way down here. See this? So I go 4 fingers in, way down by the sternum. It's gonna be hard for me to get, there's a lot of barriers to entry here, but I start down here. And now I punch the mat. Boom, big punch. Pulling this in tight. Should be done, yeah? Now that I'm here, I like to do something really mean. You ready? I like to do something really mean. I'm gonna dig my elbow right into their chest. No. So I go here, boom, and then check this out. Watch her head come off the mat. So I go here, boom. And if you ask her how that feels, it is not fun. I'm not doing a whole lot of work. I'm just dropping my elbow, boom, taking their head off the mat. So I'm playing here, I open, 4 fingers in, boom, punching through. Okay, I got it. Now I go here. Yeah. Now I sweep my hand around, reverse shave them like I'm elbowing them in the face. Don't be nice here. Reverse shave to open up this side of the gi. I'm just grabbing at the top of the shoulder. I'm just grabbing like this. Let me show you from this side. We're playing here. I go in, 4 fingers deep, playing. boom. Now look, I swim, reverse shape. Look, 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 look. Oh, grabbing right there. Elbows come together. Throttling my wrist as my head comes forward. There's my finish.
That's not pleasant.
Then you get to make fun of them forever. Add these into your game. Let's go. Okay, the actual last submission, I decided to add one more. We're gonna go Americana lock, okay? The Americana lock in general is looked at as a very beginner motion. I disagree. If you do it properly, you can do it at all levels, right? I'm gonna switch sides. So we're here playing, right? I wanna get her wrist pinned to the mat, okay? Lots of ways to do that. In my opinion, doing Americanas from side control is more dominant than mount, because in mount, it's hard to control circular motion. In side control, it's a little easier if you do it right, okay? So we're playing here, right? One thing that I'll start out first, I wanna pin the wrist, but I don't want her to be able to turn. So if I go here, pinning the wrist, and I start attacking, she has rotational motion on her side, right? She might be able to rotate inside here, going either direction with the pressure of the elbow or the other way. So what I like to do is I'll be playing here and I'll look to pin this arm in one of two ways. I'll either pin it by bringing my leg over it, or I'll pin it even meaner by stepping all the way around her head and playing here, right? This is where you can get really mean, okay? So we'll go on a little more simple. I'm pinning her arm here with my legs. Most of the time, I like to pin with my actual shin, not with the arm between my legs, but it doesn't really matter. I'm finding her wrist and pinning it to the mat, wedging my elbow against her neck. And now I can build up here. I'm gonna go underneath her elbow, grabbing my own wrist. And now here, there's a lot of leeway, a lot of motion. It's a lot of space. This is not good, because then when you do this to somebody good, they're gonna have a lot of time and motion to move. So what I wanna do is pull her elbow down to her ribs. Now, there's very little motion before the submission, because I'm creating tension in the joint, taking all the slack out. So once we get here, pull that elbow down. We call it paintbrush for the kids, like you're painting the mat. Boom, lift that elbow, and there's your Americana finish. All right, so there you have it. You got some submission options, especially for those white belts out there. I kind of have it in a little hierarchy. I think the back control to the rear chokes is where it's really at. When you're doing it in the gi or no gi, you have to understand the difference between underhook and overhook sides. Let's just start shooting those submissions, guys. Again, as the white belts, you should be really focused on escaping bad positions. That should be your main focus of growth. But like I said, like a snowball picks up debris as it rolls downhill, you're gonna be gathering submissions as well. So that's okay, and that's great, actually. Just understand, you're probably gonna have your back taken, be mounted, or be on bottom side control way more often than you're gonna have somebody's back or mount somebody or be on top side control, right? So we have to know how to escape those positions first and foremost. But if you find yourself in mount, if someone shoots in on your legs and you find the neck, if you end up on someone's back, you have to have these submissions. It's important. The goal is not to win matches by having the most time in a dominant position. The goal is to submit. We want to submit everybody all the time. In your rounds in the gym, the most submissions in the allotted time possible. In tournaments, submit as soon as possible. In fights, if you're out at the gas station and someone's trying to take your money or whatever, you want to break them immediately, choke them unconscious, kick them in the head, and get out of there, right? That's the goal. So we need to get those submissions going. This video right here with these submissions is really going to help you guys with that. Again, I'm going to put videos in the description that you can go back to where you can get really in depth on everything I went over. I really glazed over the technique, but that was the goal. I want you guys to see all these different options from all these different positions, and then you can go back and look at the videos and get more refined, right? So I really hope it helps. I know it will. Let's get those submissions. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, shoot us a thanks, join our team, subscribe. I said that already, but definitely do it. Notification bell, do that twice. Hit it, unhit it, then hit it again. And yeah, if you want to see anything in the future, throw it down in the comments. And yeah, let's do it. Good job.